Hey guys. Hi Dan. Angie, hello. How's it going? How's everyone's Sunday Memorial Day weekend going so far? Alright, so you're an SF, nice. Love it. Alright, my friends. Hi, Valentina. Hello. So we're gonna get started in about a minute. And if you're just joining, welcome. We have a 60-minute, a little less than 60-minute, but we'll say about an hour of a yin yoga practice. And so if you're just coming in, yin yoga, what to expect is something pretty quiet, slow-paced practice. And what we will think of, what we'll do is go shape to shape, and all the holds will be pretty long. And so with the length of these holds and this deep stretching, what we want to do is find or feel this sort of fascia or connective tissue-like release happen. And so, hello, welcome. Sunday night yin yoga. We'll get started. So grab some kind of support for yourself, whether it's some pillows from your living room or your bedroom, or if you have yoga blocks or yoga bolsters, wonderful. But just something to support you in the shapes, to support things like maybe if your knees are sensitive, or if forward folds feel a little bit tricky, all that stuff, the props will support you. So go ahead and grab your props before getting comfortable on your back into a Shavasana. If you like, you can maybe cue up some music for yourself, light a candle, dim the lights, do your thing. And with no rush at all, make your way onto your back to rest into Shavasana. Just for the duration of the practice, comments are off. We'll turn them on towards the end. If we haven't practiced together before, my name is Sarah. And so here we are. You're laying on your back in Shavasana, making any little adjustments, any small movements that help you to get really comfortable right now. It could be something as simple as just closing your eyes, taking a deep breath in, and letting out a Allow your muscles to relax. And settle into this place of observing your breath, of how it feels, how it sounds, where it's creating small movement in the body, things like belly rising as you breathe in and softening as you breathe out. And then from this place of slowing down, of observing how you feel, maybe what you're thinking, Let there be this intention to carry this throughout the rest of your practice. About an hour of just moving shape to shape and asking yourself just to slow down, to find comfort maybe in the discomfort, to find comfort in the stillness. And so with no rush, invite little movements back into the body. You can wiggle your fingertips, maybe roll your wrists, your ankles, turn the head side to side. And then you can slide your legs together with an inhale breath. Reach your arms up overhead. So big side body stretch. Enjoy it. And then exhale, just one more deep inhale, big stretch. And as you exhale, hug your knees in towards your belly. So you're going to wrap your arms around your legs. From there, do a little rock and roll from side to side. Just massaging your low back. And as you sway back to center, tuck your hands underneath your thighs. Lift your head up a little bit, so chin to chest. And then rock and roll forward and back. Just enough until the momentum is there for you to come all the way up and find a tabletop position. Okay. So just finding tabletop, you're on all fours, shoulders above your wrists, knees underneath your hips. Okay. Feel neutral through your spine, soft through your elbow joints, not locking them out, so soften everywhere. And then with an inhale, drop your belly, lift your heart and your gaze up. And with your exhale, your chin to your chest, start to push the floor away, round or puff up between the shoulders. We'll do one more like that. Inhale, belly drops, heart lifts. And then exhale to cat spine. Okay, moving as slowly as you like, moving really at your own pace. We'll meet back in neutral. So pause there. Pause there. And then with your inhale, reach your left arm up. With an exhale, thread your left arm underneath your right. Reach all the way through. And so thread the needle arms. Kind of fidget as much as you need until you snuggle into the position that you feel you can hold for a couple minutes. All right? And so what you're doing with your right hand, totally up to you. You might have the right palm just pressing into the ground or your mat stacked under your right elbow. Maybe your right arm goes up and around, sort of a half bind. Maybe your right arm is reaching forward, nice big side stretch. And so all that, totally up to you. So get into it. A little time check here. So creating this space between your shoulders. A really gentle stretch for your neck. Beginning with a really gentle twist as well. And so again, stay with it. The holds tonight, they're all going to be a little longer than what we're used to in, say, a vinyasa or the hatha style practice. Stay close to the feeling of your breath, movement of your breath. Stay with it. Do about 5 more rounds. Big inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Just on your own, a few more. And when you come towards the end of that last exhale, take your right palm, plant it down, press into the floor, and begin to reach your left arm all the way back up. Inhale. And then set the palm under your shoulder, exhale. So you're back in tabletop, and just pause. So try to be still right here. Okay, you've got this feeling of the crown of your head reaching forward, palms gently pushing into the floor, tone up the belly. We'll do one round cat-cow. Inhale. And exhale. Neutral your inhale. Pause as you exhale. And reach your right arm up, inhale. And then thread your right arm underneath your left as you exhale. Okay, again, in these first few moments, with these first few breaths, you'll probably need to fidget around. Okay, snuggle into what feels right, what feels like you can soften right here for a couple minutes. You can be in this place of observing breath and sensation. Snuggle into the position where you don't feel stuck. You just feel still. Again, left palm might just be pressing down gently to create that deeper twist feeling as the left side ribs peel open. Maybe it's left arm reaching forward, big side stretch. Maybe you're opening the left shoulder a bit more, wrapping your arm around into that half bind. But whatever it is that you're doing, it goes without saying, but choose something that really does feel good. A few more rounds of breath. And finish your next exhale breath. Begin to slide the left palm so it's stacked under the left elbow. Press into the ground. Inhale, reach your right arm back up. Exhale your right palm to your mat, just under your shoulder. And again, Just pause right here on all fours. Feel the length of your spine. Inhale. So you can kind of draw the shoulders back, creating space between the shoulders and the ears. One round cat cow. As you come back to neutral spine, you might inch your knees back just a little bit. So we'll get into melting heart next. And so you want to have space ahead of you to kind of slide out forward. So hips stay kind of like tabletop position. Walk the arms forward, the palms forward just a touch. And then, just like it's called, melt your heart down towards the ground. And so, after thread the needle arms, where we gently begin to open the shoulders, we go a little bit deeper here. So this is a very nice stretch for the upper body. Of course, there's a nice curve happening in the spine, a little bit of a kind of back bend shape going on. Maybe it still feels like you're trying to snuggle into the position that feels sustainable, the position that you think you can kind of hang out in for a few minutes. If so, that's totally fine. And so then as we get into these yin poses that are a bit more uncomfortable, we can begin to think, like, it is uncomfortable, but maybe we can practice, instead of resisting it or fighting against it or reacting and coming out of the pose, all the way through, of course, with your breath as that one constant guide. Maybe instead the choice is to be in harmony with it. Even though it's really uncomfortable and your shoulders or whatever it might be is like, why? Just keep breathing. Maybe with each breath and each moment that you choose to harmonize with this moment of discomfort rather than fight against it. Maybe you start to feel a change. An option, if it feels okay, to bring the palms of your hands together. Bend your elbows to your thumbs. Just gently fall back towards the nape of your neck. Prayer hands with your knuckles and your wrists soft. And so with this, you might feel that stretch through your triceps. With that, maybe the elbows or the backs of the arms are really, really, really slightly pressing into your mat. You've got about 5 more cycles of breath. Just a couple more breaths. Stay with it. Now is the time to recommit. To soften. As you come towards the end of your next exhale, if you've got prayer hands, elbows bent, you can start to release that. And then how we'll come out, we'll just slide forward right onto the belly. So you're just going to shift forward, extend your legs back, go ahead and relax. Relax your arms, rest an ear or a cheek down. And just allow your whole front body to breathe into your mat. Your belly and your chest. Lift your head and take your opposite ear to the mat. Just a little counter stretch for your neck. Even out both sides. A couple easy breaths right here. And then start to take your chin to the mat, so gaze to center, and then prop yourself right up onto your forearms. And so essentially, this is the shape, this is the pose we'll do next. It's Sphinx pose. So it creates some compression in the sacrum area or in the low back. Your pillows, your blocks, you might use them to rest your forehead onto. So some of us like to kind of rest the head onto something there. I like to just sort of stay somewhere around here, but do your thing. And so you can start with your elbows stacked more or less under your shoulders. Just kind of wiggle into it, see what feels good. If low back compression does not feel good in your body, if something hurts or you know you have injuries that prevent you from doing this, you might just kind of inch your elbows forward more, or maybe you just lay resting on your belly. Keep it that simple. Even there's a little bit of compression happening. It's really, really gentle, but you might just hang out on your belly if this feels intense. But if Sphinx pose is all right with you, here we are. There's some engagement, some toning up of the glute muscles. There's a gentle push of forearms down into the mat. So we know we're not wearing the shoulders up to the ears, but rather creating space in the neck and the shoulders. just this nice stretch happening across the belly, the chest, maybe your pecs. I feel it a little bit there. And if you've got your head, your gaze, your neck just pretty neutral, and you want to maybe add some light, gentle stretching, you can tilt your right ear to right shoulder. Feel that along the left side. Switch sides, left ear, left shoulder. Feel that along the right side. Again, keep this active press of forearms down. So you're creating stability there. Again, so that there is space in your upper body. If you could use more of a curve in the low back, more compression, you could try bending your knees. That will add it. That will give you a bit more of an edge. And then all these little things, like to go deeper, we'll say, you might try them and then they don't feel that good. And so if that's the case, you might just go, I don't like it. And you can bring the feet down. That's totally fine. Get to know your body tonight and what's feeling good. You can stay right here, or a bit more. You can press your palms down, push right up into seal. For me, right up into seal with knees bent is probably a little bit too much compression, so I would go ahead and lower my feet back down, but you might really be enjoying that. Nice big stretch for the whole front body. We've got a few more breaths. If you're right up in straight or straightish arms, so slowly begin to bend your elbows. You're going to brace your core a bit to lower down. Nice and easy. And then as you lower, have your arms up just by your ears, so cactus shape at the elbows, and then slide the right leg up, the right knee up. And just feel what you feel in your lower back. Use your hands. Press into the ground beside you. Keep the right leg, or keep your legs just like this. And you're going to lift yourself up a little bit. So you can kind of come back to what looks like that Sphinx pose in your arms. Keeping the right leg like that, press your right palm down, and then that thread the needle arm shape again. You're going to reach underneath the right arm. So essentially from here, what we're going to do is end up on your back in a supine twist. You can just roll on back snuggle up there. Your right arm can stay in that cactus shape, bent at your elbow. If you have a pillow or block that you can tuck underneath your right thigh, that usually feels really nice. So you're just on your back in a reclined twist. The transition into it is a little bit different, and so sometimes we get a little bit stuck there, but don't overthink it. Just end up on your back in a reclined twist. You can explore with how high up your right knee is, or how much you're kind of lowering it down. You can notice how that will change where the twist is showing up in your spine. Maybe it's more so in the low back. If you're sliding the knee down more, maybe it's right into the upper body if the knee's up a bit higher. Twists are a nice way to massage our stomach and our internal organs. If you haven't already, you could maybe pick your head up and turn your gaze over the right shoulder. And so the twist really is showing up in your whole entire spine, right up into the neck. And if you were to tell yourself that right here, right now, this can feel easy, and you can slow down and just be here. How does your body react to that? Maybe you notice you can unclench the jaw. Maybe your belly softens. Maybe it's your shoulders. Couple more soft, easy breaths in your twist. Begin to pull your right leg back up through center. We're going to roll over onto the back. Just kind of shift right over onto your back. So you're laying in Shavasana. Breath feeling really spacious. Into the front body, side body, back body. Start to wake up through the fingertips and toes. Hug your knees into your belly. And you can rock left to right. And back to center. Lay your feet down flat. Reach your right arm up overhead. Turn over onto your right side just to shift right back onto your belly. Your arms in that cactus shape beside you or up by the ears. And then the opposite side with that left leg, just slide the left knee up. So it's like a half frog pose. And that's it. Just hike the left knee, the left leg up. Feel it so subtle in that groin area, along the inner left thigh. Really breathe your whole front body into the ground. Your belly, your chest. And just like the first side, start to push your palms down. You just, for a moment, come up onto your forearms. And same exact transition, press down through your left palm and thread the needle with your right arm. Reach it all the way through and start to peel open across that left side as you lay back into your twist. Nice massage into the belly, the outer left hip. Maybe you're feeling it in the glute. Again, notice how high you want to bring your left knee up, or maybe you're lowering it down a touch. A lot of yin yoga poses and a lot of a yin practice could actually be quite intense. I think the twist is a nice place to actually just allow things to feel more restorative and gentle. Even though it's not necessarily a very intense shape where we're creating tension on tight muscles or muscle groups and all that, there's still so much good happening underneath the skin. Okay. Where tension is showing up, it might just be more subtle. And so close your eyes, part your lips, free your breath. And give back to yourself with some silence and some stillness. Last few breaths right here in your twist. Really take your time. Do it in slow, sleepy mode. Come back through center. Laying on your back. Your arms and legs just stretched out long. Feel open across the heart, the chest. Slide your legs closer. Hug your knees back into your belly again. You can squeeze gently if that feels good. You can pull your knees apart. So you're kind of holding your shin bones, drawing your knees in the direction of your underarms. It kind of looks like child's pose but upside down. It feels like child's pose along the inner thighs. And let's release this. Lay your feet flat. Reach your left arm up overhead. Roll onto your left side. And then shift all the way over to tabletop. And sit your hips back to a child's pose. Just shift forward, back to your hands and knees. And then just kind of turn one way so that for the next pose, you can use the length of your mat just to create some cushion, because it could feel intense for the knees. You might feel a lot of pressure on your knees. So we'll think of frog pose next, so full frog pose. But just to kind of feel your way through it, to know where it is that your body wants to be or where your body can be tonight, start in a really wide knee child's pose. So kind of exaggerate your child's pose. Keep your feet close-ish. Okay, so see how that feels first. And then if from there, that's like, ooh, really nice groin, inner thigh stretch. This is where I want to be for a few minutes, then stay there. That's your version of frog. If you could use a bit more, then maybe you do it now, or maybe you do it a minute from now. But the option is to separate your feet a little bit more and kind of keep the hips kind of back-ish, that child's pose sort of shape, or kind of full frog. You'll come forward, knees wide, feet wide. If you're here, make sure that it feels like you've got hips stacked above your knees. If your knees are really sensitive, if this hurts, you can roll your mat and kind of cushion under your knees, or you can use pillows under your knees, or you might use your pillows underneath your chest. All right. So frog pose. Stay with it. I'm going to get up just to do a little time check. Okay. And I've said it before, but I think that because this is such an intense one, it would just not be fair if I did not hold it with you guys the whole time. So we are in this together. This is probably one of my least favorite poses. Probably the things that really make us uncomfortable, or the things that we feel really resistant to. I think it's a cool thing to lean into those things Just see what comes up. Breath is there for you. Keep using it. Those sort of spontaneous inhales, open mouth exhales. I'm beginning to feel the stretch, marinate, move past all those inner thigh, adductor muscles. Let's do about 5 more rounds of breath. Once you come towards the end of that 5th exhale, use your hands. Push yourself up just enough to kind of shift forward, bring the feet close, knees closer, and then a child's pose. Oh my gosh. Walk your hands in towards your body, your knees, and start to inch your way up. Bring the knees closer, and then just have a little seat right back onto your heels. Brand new inhale breath. Drop the shoulders. Let's turn to face the front of your mat and step into a downward facing dog. Just to get a nice stretch for the legs. And slowly bend your knees from left to right, stretching your hamstrings, maybe turn your head side to side. From down dog, gently lower your knees to your mat. Shift your feet off to one side so you can Lay onto your back. Have blocks or pillows or props close by. Rest with your knees bent, your feet flat. And into a supported bridge. Grab for your pillow, pillows, blocks, or bolsters, and place something underneath you, so right at the base of your spine or your sacrum, something to elevate your hips. And you can absolutely stay with your knees bent, your feet flat, or you could stretch your legs out. So it should feel nice with the legs out long. So stretch the fronts of your hips now. If you want to play around with deepening that stretch across the front of your hips, you can draw one knee in, kind of like a wind relieving, opposite knee in. Go ahead and release any grip. Place your feet flat so you can lift your hips and slide the pillow or block or whatever you're using out from underneath. And settle into your final Shavasana. As always, hanging out here for as long as you want. Thank you, Angie. Have an amazing rest of your night. Happy Memorial Day. Namaste.